Now, when the conversation is about footballing outposts and the word Argyle is dropped into a sentence, you're clearly talking about Plymouth in Devon, aren't you? Well, that's not necessarily the case. On this Mike's Mission, I've brought you to Argyle in Scotland, home of the most remote mainland football team in Great Britain. And they're somewhere down there. Now, to get here, we've travelled along the M6 up to Scotland. We've skirted around the city of Glasgow, and then we've crossed the famous Erskine Bridge in heavy rain. By the time we reached Loch Lomond, the sun had come out again, or sort of, and then we negotiated the notorious Rest and Be Thankful mountain pass. Next, we travelled through the whitewashed town of Inverary. How beautiful is that? And right now we're in a fishing town called Tarbert. And look, they knew I was on my way. They've made it bin day, especially for Mike's Missions. Thank you, Tarbert. I feel at home. From Mike's Missions headquarters in North Derbyshire, we've already driven around 400 miles to reach the village of Tarbert in Argyle. And this morning we've another 30 miles to go to the tip of the Argyle Peninsula. There we will be seeking out the proud Campbeltown Pupils Football Club, whose remoteness geographically is only matched by how far adrift they are in the Scottish football pyramid. Well, as we're getting closer to Campbeltown, the wind is getting up, the waves are getting higher, and even those cormorants on there have battened down the hatches, and I've had to resort to wearing this silly hat. Today, Pupils are scheduled to play a home fixture against Eglinton from Kilwinning, which is 150 miles away. Now, they could get here by ferry, but with Storm Dave approaching, the likelihood is that sailings will have been cancelled. It'll be the same story with flights to Campbeltown via Glasgow Airport. Now, let me say at this stage, I'm expecting to reach Kintyre Park today to find the games being postponed. It's a regular occurrence, and with the end of the season in sight, Campbeltown have already completed 7 fewer fixtures than some other teams. And with no floodlights for midweek games, it's difficult to see how they'll ever rearrange them all and complete the season. But we'll keep our fingers crossed and head down into Campbeltown, although Storm Dave is certainly stirring things up a little bit. we've made it to the high streets of Campbeltown, and I'm still wearing my silly hat. And the word is that when King Charles arrived here not so long ago, he caused uproar by wearing an animal skin hat. And there's evidence here, look. There you are. Campbeltown. Wear the fox hat. Now this part of the world is famous for being the home of Paul McCartney for many years, and you can see where he got his inspiration from. Oh, Mull of Kintyre, mist rolling in from the hills, my desire is always to sit outside a cafe in this bleak weather and wear shorts. Now the town centre is hardly bustling with football fans at the moment, and I'm fearing the worst about this afternoon's fixture. But I'll pop in here and get a bag of sweets for the match, just in case. Right, this is my new friend George here. Now George, you must work in all sorts of weather here in Campbeltown.
Aye,
is this a good day or a bad day?
Average.
Average?
Average day.
Yeah. And do you ever get rained off or snowed off at all?
No, not unless it's seriously bad. But
so
usually we just go ahead.
And the mail always gets through then, does it? Good. That's brilliant.
Unless the road's shut, you know.
Yeah.
There's one road in and one road out. So
yeah.
The road's shut.
Yeah. I see. Now I was hoping to get to the football match today, but I understand it's waterlogged.
Aye.
So we'll see.
Quite a common occurrence.
Yeah.
In weather like this.
Yeah, I see they're about 7 or 8 games behind everybody else this season, so they'll never finish this season, will they?
No. Weather and geography plays a large part in games getting called off. You know?
Yeah.
As I say, one road in, one road out, so if the road's shut, teams can't travel.
Are you a fan there then? Or
well, the local team?
Yeah.
I follow the local team. I work most Saturdays, so if I can get to the games, I can.
Yeah.
But it's quite rare to get to them.
And I understand most of the players come from Campbeltown and used to go to the school in Campbeltown as well. Yeah.
Right, that's right. And we try and keep it as local as we can.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thanks ever so much, George.
No problem.
I'll leave you to enjoy this this pleasant, balmy Campbeltown weather.
Aye, not a problem.
Thank
very
you.
Much.
Cheers. Bye. It's very smart in here. Argyle Arms Hotel, and also it's very dry. No, it's not really bustling here. There's no coach loads of football fans here. Not seen anyone with football scarves or hats. So yes, I think today's game may be struggling to beat this weather. The start of Storm Dave. Right, I found a gentleman here in his jewellery shop called Robert. Now I understand you follow Campbeltown Pupils.
Well, a bit.
Yeah. And what's your family link?
Well, my brother played for them and my son plays for the young team.
Oh right.
But that's like 12-year-old.
Well,
so it's not the right.
By the time he's 14 or 15, he's in the first team, isn't he?
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. And do you go and watch them at all?
No, I don't. Because I work every Saturday, so I can't watch them. But there is a few ones that go every week, you know, but it's more older ones.
Yeah, and I should imagine there's lots of loyalty with all the players coming from the town as well.
Well, I really can't tell you. No, I'm not sure about that, but you would think so.
Yeah.
You would think so.
Not too many foreigners playing for us,
no, I don't think there's not enough money for that.
No. Brilliant. Well, thanks ever so much. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye. Righto, before we go to the football ground, Kintyre Park, no visit to Campbeltown would be quite right if we didn't call here. This is the memorial garden to Linda McCartney, and of course it's closed. I think we can just see the statue over yonder. There we are. What a tranquil spot this is in the middle of Campbeltown. And for all you Mike's Missions followers who like to see me get a good soaking on my adventures, you should be in your element today. Let's go and find that football ground. Kintyre Park, home ground of Campbeltown Pupils FC. We've made it to the ground an hour before kick-off, and guess what? Yes, as we feared, today's fixture is yet another one that's been postponed. The pitch is waterlogged, and of course with Storm Dave threatening to bring high winds and snow, they had no hesitation in calling the game off. Who knows whether it will be rearranged or not. There are 291 clubs in the Scottish football pyramid playing at 10 different tiers. Celtic, Rangers and Hearts are at the top of the Premier League, but guess who's at the other end of the scale? Yes, it's Campbeltown Pupils. Not only are they the most secluded club geographically, but they're also the furthest adrift results wise. This season has seen many defeats, some by 6, 7 or 8 goals, and a couple of years ago there was a 12-0 cup loss at Drumchapel United. Campbeltown Pupils have spent all the 1995-96 season adrift at the bottom of the PDM Build-Base sponsored West of Scotland Football League Division 4. It's actually Division 5 because it has a Premier Division 2. After 17 games, they've amassed a total of 1 single point from a recent 1-1 draw with Giffnock. But one thing Campbeltown Pupils don't have to worry about is relegation. They can't get any lower. One record Campbeltown are particularly proud of is that almost every player in their squad attended school in the town. Now, can you imagine that happening at Celtic or Manchester United? Facilities are few and far between, but one thing that this ground has that many others don't, there's a helipad just across the road. Every successful football team needs a good manager, but just as important to Campbeltown is a reliable coach. This one takes players to all their away games, and each one is a journey of hundreds of miles. They do say that every storm has a silver lining, even the clouds associated with Storm Dave, because one of the teams in Campbeltown's division, BSC Glasgow, has actually withdrawn from the competition, which means that Campbeltown have now soared to the lofty height of 15th in their 4th division. They're still bottom, of course, but well, 15th, they'll soon be organising an open-top bus tour. That's if the rain ever stops. Thanks for joining me today on this crazy mission to find the most remote football ground in Britain. Shame the match was off, but it was mission accomplished. And please like, subscribe, add a comment if you've ever been to Campbeltown. And see you again. Thanks for watching. Bye.